Welcome to R3 Tech. This is Ritesh Srinivasan. In this video, I'll be discussing about applications of artificial intelligence in the field of healthcare. This is the second part of the series where I'll be covering 5 use cases from research papers. I'll be giving a gist of these use cases. The links to the papers and other relevant links are put in the description of the video. If you like such content, please subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to have a devastating effect on the health and well-being of the global population. A critical step in the fight against COVID-19 is effective screening of infected patients, with one of the key screening approaches being radiology examination using chest X-ray images. There are certain abnormalities which are present in the chest X-ray image. So the authors of this paper have actually proposed an open source deep learning architecture called as COVID-NET. This architecture makes use of a projection expansion projection design pattern, and with this particular network being trained on images with COVID-19, basically findings of COVID-19, they are able to accurately detect findings of COVID-19 in new chest X-ray images. Chest X-ray as a modality for detecting of COVID-19 is very useful because you can do rapid triaging. It is available and accessible in most hospitals. It is also portable, that you can actually have portable X-ray machines being taken to the patient's home and then X-rays being done. So this team which developed the COVID-19 architecture also has open sourced the data set, which they are calling it as COVID-X. Now this data set comprises of 13,975 chest X-ray images across 13,870 patient cases. So you can look at this paper for your further reading. So the main motivation of these authors were to actually release a good open source based deep learning algorithm so that other scientists can further improve this architecture and also build and deploy this in hospitals. Another interesting research paper proposes automated screening of sickle cells using a smartphone based microscope and deep learning. Now, what is sickle cell disease? It is a group of blood disorders which are typically inherited from a person's parents. The most common type is known as sickle cell anemia. So it results in abnormality in the oxygen carrying protein, hemoglobin, found in red blood cells. So sickle cell disease is a major public health priority throughout much of the world, affecting millions of people in various continents like Asia and Africa. So these authors have proposed a smartphone based microscope kind of solution. Here the authors present a deep learning based framework which can perform automatic screening of sickle cells in blood smears using a smartphone microscope. The framework actually uses two distinct neural networks. The first neural network enhances and standardizes the blood smear images captured by the smartphone microscope spatially and spectrally to that equivalent of an image which can be observed from a microscope. Now then there is a segmentation network which actually segments these red blood cells in the blood smear, and then there is a classifier which detects the presence of sickle cells and it counts the number of sickle cells. Based on this, sickle cell diagnosis can be done. Now the advantage of such a system is that it becomes a point of care system, and this can be easily carried by health experts or by your the primary healthcare workers to remote places also, and with the blood smear they can actually identify the presence of sickle cell disease. Authors in this paper have proposed a deep learning system for differential diagnosis of skin diseases. Typically, skin conditions affect around 1.9 billion people. Because of a shortage of dermatologists, most cases are seen instead by a general practitioner with lower diagnostic accuracy. So these authors present a deep learning system which consists of, it can take input as images or photos of the skin condition along with the metadata, and they build a deep neural network using Inception 4 for the images along with the metadata features, and then they can actually do a primary classification of the skin conditions into 27 diagnostic classes and further a secondary classification into 419 diagnostic classes. Another interesting part in this paper is that once they do the validation on 963 validation cases, where there is a rotating panel of 3 board certified dermatologists who define the reference standard, the deep learning system was non-inferior to 6 other dermatologists and superior to 6 primary care physicians and 6 nurse practitioners. So this system, the results highlight that this system can help the general practitioner to better identify and diagnose skin disease for close to 419 different kinds of skin diseases. This research paper talks about use of deep learning for EHR data, which includes free text notes also, to do certain predictions for certain clinical conditions. Right. So here what happens is that the health systems collect and store electronic health records in various formats in databases. So all available data for each patient is converted to events recorded in containers based on the FHIR specification, which is Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resource. Now, what is done next is that these resources are placed in temporal order. So, what happens is that all the events are recorded in the EHR is depicted in the timeline. The deep learning model then uses this full history of the patient to predict things like readmission risk, inpatient mortality, the current diagnosis, or any other kind of prediction like length of stay or resource utilization, etc. So this example was discussed in the paper. So the patient record over here shows a woman with metastatic breast cancer with malignant pleural effusion and certain other lung conditions. Okay. So the patient timeline at the top indicates basically circles for every time step for which a token is existing in the EHR. So these are the different data types. It could be medication, it could be notes, it could be diagnosis, procedures, labs, right, encounters or orders. Now a particular month over here is in the timeline is actually zoomed in where actually the patient has been admitted to the hospital and certain data prior to the admission as well as in the first 24 hours has been picked up by the model. So it could be different data types, it could be lab basically over here, it could be medications, it could be CT reports, it could be physician notes, it could be again physician note. From all these relevant points which has been picked up by the model has predicted a risk of inpatient mortality which is around 19.9% after the first 24 hours of hospitalization. It has been observed in this case, unfortunately, that the patient dies 10 days later. So Google did this modeling on retrospective data, and based on that it was able to come up with this deep learning model which could actually consider different types of data types where there is a different model for each data type, and with that they could predict the mortality risk. This is a nice survey paper which talks about the role of artificial intelligence in oncology. This schematic outlines the various tasks within radiology where artificial intelligence implementation is likely to have a large impact. So the workflow here comprises of image acquisition, pre-processing, then you have image-based tasks like segmentation, like identification of certain abnormalities, then there is reports, then there is integrated diagnosis where not just the radiology images are considered but other things like biopsy, genetics plus therapeutics are considered for oncology, basically to come up with clinical decisions in the oncology space. Now, if you look at image-based tasks, here the thing is about detecting abnormalities within the images on the basis of changes of intensities in or the appearance of unusual patterns with an emphasis of reducing false positives. So it is about identifying, say, tumors in the lung or in the breast or in the brain. And then you have characterization whereby you actually segment the abnormalities. You also identify the abnormality as whether it is being diagnosed based, it is whether it is abnormal, whether it is benign or is malignant. Then you also have a staging in cancer whereby actually you try to stage into predefined categories for of the tumors. Then you also have monitoring of these tumors over a period of time by looking at past images, and then you can come up with a temporal timeline. For example, here there was a tumor at some point of time, it has reduced a little bit, it has reduced further, and after maybe a couple of years it has actually come back. So you can actually create nice timeline for monitoring of these tumors from these radiological images. So here there is a lot of scope and there are a lot of improvements coming up in this area where you have AI algorithms instead of traditional features, coded features or engineered features for segmentation of these abnormalities. So there is a lot of scope for AI algorithms in this space at the various stages of the radiology workflow for oncology. If you like such content, please like the video, please share the video, please subscribe to the channel. Also press the bell icon so that you will get notified whenever I am creating new videos. See you in the next video. Bye for now.